Do you remember why we have come here today? Is it not true that our purpose is to hear the sins of this pony, known as Acorn? And is it not further true that the three of us, after listening to said sins, shall make a judgment concerning the fate of Acorn's existence? Well, yeah, Dirk said all that just a few minutes ago. Yes, Minos, all you say is true. And what form shall our judgment take? Is it not true that each of us shall cast their own vote, and whatever ruling has gained the majority of the votes shall be enacted? This seems a just system. Is there anything I have omitted from my telling? Nothing, Minos. True, it is just as you have said, Minos. Why are you speaking in rhetorical questions? Very good. And now, Dirk, you, I suppose, should speak next after duly calling upon the gods. What's going on? All men, Minos, who have any degree of right feeling at the beginning of every enterprise, whether small or great, always call upon God. And we, too, who are going to discourse of the nature of sin, of guilt, and of punishment, must invoke the aid of gods and goddesses and pray that our words may be acceptable to them and consistent with themselves. Why is my name in front of everything I say? Come then, clear-voiced muses, whether you have gained this epithet because of the quality of your singing or because the Ligurians are so musical, grant me your support in the judgment that my colleagues and I shall soon make. And what are those numbers and letters over there on the left? Let this, then, be our invocation of the gods, to which I add an exhortation of myself to speak in such manner as will be most intelligible to you and will most accord with my own intent. Wait, I know what's happening. A good and fair invitation. Now it must fall upon Dirk to begin the reading of the sins, while Minos and I listen attentively and comment on occasion as we see fit. Excellent, Jean, and we will do precisely as you bid us. The prelude is charming, and it is already accepted by us. May we beg of you to proceed the strain? I won't play along. We're not making this into a platonic dialogue. I certainly shall, Minos, despite the fact that some of those gathered here are making things harder than they need to be. No, fuck you, I refuse. The pony defiantly kicked his name off the page with his powerful hooves. That's better. Acorn, please, don't make this into a whole thing. Fuck you, Acorn said as he kicked another acorn colon into the abyss. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, the symposium you rode in on. You're not really in any position to argue with us, Acorn. We're doing this. It's happening. How far up your own ass do... Hold on, I need to take care of this too. He kicked the 17th seed into the growing pile. Goddamn Stephanus pagination. Can't you just humor him on this one, Acorn? That's kind of how we arbiters do this thing. I mean, if it were up to me, we might try... Oh, come on, Betancourt, it's tradition. It's formal. I like it. Of course you'd like it. You get to be Socrates. I'm not going to go through with this needlessly complicated and pretentious dialogue bullshit just so that this glasses-wearing fucker can get his rocks off. Besides, this asshole... Acorn derisively tossed his head in the direction of Minos. Already wrote me into 2 pages of Tensei. Oh no, was... Hang on, let me get that for you, Acorn said, and sent yet another prefix into the bottom margin with his powerful hooves. Thanks. Was it metered? Betancourt asked. Iambic pentameter. At least he didn't insist on hendecasyllables, Betancourt said, crinkling her nose in repulsion at the thought of these particularly odious feet. That's a good pun, Dirk whispered to nobody. Alright, fine, we can. Acorn cocked one of his back hooves Minos word threateningly. Fine, Minos huffed. There, no more dialogue. Happy? Very. You don't have to be an asshole about it, Acorn, Jean Betancourt said. The 2 girls and the town trudged through the snow silently. Pawnee and Pam had left Lightning and Lil Seb behind miles ago. They told the ponies to return home and had pointed them in the right direction. If they just followed the trail in a straight line for a few minutes, they'd be back at the barn. But the girls didn't hold out much hope that the ponies would make it, because, as has been covered earlier in this book, Ponies are incredibly fucking stupid. At this very moment, Lil Seb and Lightning were probably freezing to death or falling off cliffs or trying to eat each other or some stupid shit like that. Fucking ponies. Hurry, said Anna. I can feel the other side tugging at my very sinews. We're very close now. Here, kitty kitty, Anna called with vicious sarcasm. It was all starting to become clear in her mind now. The cat, her friends, her own death, her new life, the detective pony, all was converging, all was colliding, all was rushing to a climax. A revelation trembled just past the threshold of her understanding, and here, where the birch forests of Wiggins and the Chthonian depths of hell overlapped, Anna felt at the center of an odd religious instant. I hope the Tell has an open bar. I finished the last of my backup flasks hours ago, said Pawnee. She had a serious problem. This was a cry for help. Anna stopped bothering to project even the slightest pretense of caring about these antics. Anna pointed to the ground. This is it, she said solemnly. This is the point of no return for me. I can feel it. Once we cross over, I can never re-enter the world of the living. Pawnee gasped in shock. Pam just nodded. I was ripped from this realm once, Anna continued, and it won't let me escape its grasp again. I know you can't change your mind, said Pam sadly. I know you love Acorn more than you love life, and apparently more than you love me. Oh, Pam, you'll always be the one that got away, Anna said, voice shaking. And Pawnee, you're pretty cool too. The girls were moved by this uncharacteristic display of emotion from Anna. The three girls held hands and took that all-important step forward. Nothing around them visibly changed, but they could all feel it. They were damned. Pawnee touched Anna's shoulder and pointed at the ground. There's blood in the snow, said Pawnee, just like the chapter's title. Anna saw the blood too. Rage gathered in her eyes. Pam stopped and held up a hand. Listen, she said. What's that? The girls stood and listened. Anna heard a faint meow. It's a cat, she whispered. Her smile was far redder than blood and far colder than snow. While wearing a powdered wig. And finally, number 666, embezzlement. Dirk closed the book, tucked it into his back pocket, and looked at Acorn. Truly an impressive and intimidating list of sins. Betancourt shook her head sadly. Minos looked solemn. He wasn't even shitting, which is kind of his character's gimmick, so you could tell he meant business. Are we ready to make a ruling? Dirk said. Acorn reared up on his hind legs and whinnied tempestuously at the three arbiters lined in front of him. One fucking moment, don't I get to say anything in my defense? Weren't you listening to my whole big think about speech and writing? Dirk asked, obviously annoyed. Graphic versus phoneme and all that? Do you really think the subject speech holds any power in the world of a text? What is written is. What is merely said vanishes instantly as if there is no one to record it like invisible water off the ass of an invisible duck. And we're done recording you. Acorn seemed ready to argue, but Minos held up one of his adorable little white paws to stop him. Dirk is right, Minos said. He may be a pretentious douche, but he's right. We, the three arbiters of the afterlife, have heard the evidence, and now we must decide what your fate shall be. Not so fucking fast! A girl's voice shouted from the distance. Acorn's ears instantly twitched up. Could it be? It could, and goddamn deed. The trees of the dead forest behind the arbiters shuddered. Dirk, Jean, and Minos turned to face the commotion and nervously inched back. A deep rumble slowly built, louder and lower than thunder, making the ground shake as if a train was approaching. A train of the gods. The bone-white trees swayed wildly in the windless air. They violently uprooted themselves, floated weightlessly in the air for a breathless moment, and then hurled to either side with savage force, disappearing into the horizon. Through the newly parted past, silhouetted by a blinding, otherworldly glow behind them, walked two girls and a town. Jean Betancourt squinted into the blinding light. Are those? That's right, said the girl leaning away. The bright light faded and the three walked into view, posing like a team and looking like complete badasses. Anna Harley stood at the mouth of the gorge that she had just carved into hell and grinned triumphantly. We're the motherfucking Pony Pals, and we're here to fuck shit up.